gonna try a different way on how I review toys, so hope you like it. Oh, and don't mind all of that, that's just background stuff. Getting to the review proper, and I'm gonna start with saying that people wanted a G1 Chuck Earth Mode Starscream for years now. Very specific, I know, but the only good one for this very specific requirement was the Classics one from way back in 06. So when Earthrise was the name of the next line in the War for Cybertron trilogy, people were ecstatic. They would be able to get a Starscream with an Earth-based vehicle mode, and thought it would be fantastic. Due to the Siege Voyager class Starscream released 2 years prior, with its great articulation and a good rendition of the Tetrajet, people were dreaming of what could be the next good Voyager Earthjet Starscream. What we got was less than what most expected. Let's talk why. So here is Earthrise Starscream, and from first glance he actually looks great. The details that were prevalent on the Siege version, all these greebly bits, are carried over to this figure. He has all the hallmarks of a G1 Starscream. The jet intake on the shoulders, the thrusters on the side of the chest, the cockpit in the middle, null rays on the shoulders. It is a handsome robot, especially his face, with the silver face that pops against the black head, and the red eyes, even though you can't see it, are the best feature of this head, and tells you that something is up with this bot. One thing that I would have liked is a cocky, shit-eating grin on his face, which for some reason the Siege version of Thundercracker has it. Weird choice, Hasbro. Weird choice. But other than that, I really liked this figure when I first got him. However, it has been almost 3 years since I got this guy, and my opinion on him changed. It all started when I went and watched some reviews on him because I was bored. They all mentioned the fact that this toy was, at its core, an oversized Classics mode with some tweaks to try and make it a bit different from its predecessor. A bit of a disappointment, but that didn't really change my opinion much. The Classics mode with some improvements and making it bigger would make a decent to great toy. They definitely upsized and improved some of it. The first problem to me is this unused space at the side of his chest. The Classics version also had it, but that is a 17-year-old toy from a very different time for the Transformers brand, and they definitely could have used the cockpit right here, dangling uselessly, to fill out the negative space for the new toy. I can live with this gap right up here again, but it's still baffling to me that something could have been done to solve this, but there wasn't. We next looked at his back, don't mind these guys, where there is a obvious butt flap here that's not only segmented but also has a pin in there, meaning that they wanted to add a butt flap where the Classics one mitigated, but it does not move. Looking at it from the side shows that the segments are really only for show. This is really infuriating to me that they put in an effort to add an entirely useless pin, wasting it and showing what articulation could have been done but wasn't. Speaking of articulation, a 360 rotation at the head, up, down, side to side movement due to a ball joint, arms go all the way around, sort of, all the way around. If you move the wing aside, all the way out. Rotation at the upper elbow and a 95-ish degree bend. No waist swivel, but looking at this figure and how it transforms, I understand why it does not have it. Skirt goes all the way up. And here's my next problem. Skirt annoyed me when I tried to put in poses that require only one leg to be up. This makes Starscream look very awkward in these kinds of poses. But as long as I don't pose him like this, then I'm fine. The legs, on the other hand, are a different story. Legs only go out this far, making flying poses not very dynamic. No butt flap causes the legs to only go back this far. It also only spreads out this much, and the ankle pivot can't even accommodate it. It has a thigh swivel and a 90-degree knee bend, but the rest of the leg is hampered by the limitations that were designed into this bot. Starscream's articulation is below average, which might not be terrible, but with Siege Starscream's released 2 years prior, it makes you question if you really need this figure. I believe that the only people who got this figure are people like me, who don't have a Starscream, and people who want a Voyager Earth-based Starscream. Very specific. Even then, getting to that mode is very unpleasant. So normally I would film myself transforming the figure and speed it up. However, I want to show the bits of transformation I hate while I talk. I'm just gonna open this up, push it in, close it back up, and do that. This arm, on the other hand, is too tight. Because every time I try and every time I want to bring it out, there's like so much pressure in there that it's tough to get it out compared to the other arm, which extremely easy. How nice. Also, there's this bit which I also don't like. First, because it causes paint shipping, fucking hell, and also just doing this motion isn't very nice at all. Got the cockpit over his head. Kind of just put it out, just turn it, and here. Hands. This useless thing, and I guess you could just tap these together because put these up. Yes, no. Tap it in. This, and that great. Oh, that is not a good sound. Not one at all. Sorry if I'm sighing too much. I'm just extremely disappointed. Come on. Come on. Tap in. Not this one. This one as well. And there you go. Jet mode. I'm not gonna put all no rays on. I'm only gonna do one take on that transformation sequence because it just annoys the hell out of me, and I really don't like doing this bit again and pulling this out because it's just too tight for some reason, even though this isn't. Why? And it's a shame because I really want to play with his jet mode, which is actually quite nice. The details on the jet make it a lot more interesting compared to his animation model. The undercable is to be expected, so I am not bothered by it. Even this gaping hole is fine with me. I just feel like there was another way to do this transformation. Maybe using this cockpit here to secure this bit by having this red part have tabs that connect to it. It's just a thought. This is a minor problem, but a problem nonetheless, and it has to do with these thrusters at the back. Now, these are styled to after a F-22 Raptor, which, while nice, makes it impossible to plug anything that has a 5mm port, like blast effects, something the commander of the Seekers, a legion of flying Decepticons, sort of need to give the impression that it can fly. If you want to know someone who is really miffed about this and suggested alternatives, go watch Lazy Eyebrow's review on the trio of Decepticons. I believe the jet mode is the best mode out of the whole toy, but I don't play with that mode often because of the transformation. This is the thing that ruins the toy for me. With everything combined together, I have more to say on the negatives of this guy compared to the positives. I read a comment somewhere theorizing that the pandemic is a major contributing factor to not only this figure, but the entire Earthrise toy line. Take it with a grain of salt, as we do not know why that line was done so poorly. We can only speculate. Kinji. However, this will not change the fact that this guy is just not good. Get him discounted if you need a Starscream, or the relatively recent SS86 Leader Starscream that looks more like Hasbro selling you a cool looking throne with a free Earthrise Starscream thrown in, because why not at this point? Throw in 90 shoulder pads, a cape and a crown, barely change the base figure, and call it Coronation Starscream in what feels like the second most corporate move yet. Just under Legacy Evolution Breakdown. Long video, I know. Most won't watch this far, but I just wanted to vent. Well, this is truly bad comment. You know I had to do it. Thanks for watching.